Uh, Thank you, ladies and gentlemen from the states, for being able to be here at this hour. I have a very brief statement to make regarding some pertinent issues that are happening in the country. And in order to contextualize it, permit me to read it as I have put it in black and white. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear countrymen, I've been quiet for some time now, and many people have been asking me where the country is heading and where we are, and so I would like to state as follows. I joined the Kenya Kwanza coalition owing to the fact that the principles that they espoused are in tandem with the principles of the party I belong to, namely the Democratic Party of Kenya. Many friends and political colleagues at the time warned me against joining the coalition, but at a personal level, I was persuaded that would be driven by the ideals and the values that the coalition stated as a hustler nation to do the best for the people of Kenya. One of the things we had accused the past regimes of was the existence of disappearances and extrajudicial killings of Kenyans, and we vowed that we would never, at our watch, condone or allow such. We stated this time and time again in the lead up to the last general election. Today, there has been a number of abductions and in some cases unexplained deaths since the Gen Z revolts of June last year, and it is unfortunate as most of the people being abducted and or killed are our youth, leaving the parents, relatives, and friends, other family members in a state of confusion and loss. I have personally served as my son was abducted and disappeared, and I was not sure whether he was alive or dead, making us anxious and leaving me and my wife and the rest of the family in turmoil. It must be remembered that at that time, I was the serving Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, and as is well known, a member of the National Security Council as comprised under Article 240 of the Constitution. Despite making several requests, I was unable to trace my son, and I made demands to all the levels of the security apparatus of the country. Now, more than 6 months later, after that ordeal and the release of my son by unknown forces, he has not been charged with any offense, and the government at all levels has not been able to give me any explanation or reasons as to his abduction by hooded armed gangsters. Ladies and gentlemen, I have taken this unusual, The security sector has said that they are not involved in the abductions, but interestingly, they have failed to stop them as they are happening in full public glare. The president has equally said that he would want to see the abductions end. Kenyans want to know how many of our youths have been taken in since the abduction started, how many have been released, how many are still being held, and where it is that they are being held. On Friday last week, to which the 3rd of January, at a funeral in Embu, I stated categorically that it was not possible for the government to say that it did not know anything about the abductions, because that amounts to shunning its responsibility on accountability. That is why I took the issue with a statement made by the Inspector General of Police that he did not know where the abductees are. In my view, the government cannot be excused for abdicating its duty of protecting the lives and property of the people of Kenya. I note that after my statement in Embu on Friday last week, a number of the youths that had been abducted and held in Communicado have been released. But from the reports that we see every day, there are still many that are still being held. The cardinal duty of the state and the government is to protect the lives and livelihood of its citizens, and cannot claim to be unaware of such serious breaches of the rights of Kenyans to live free from wrongful confinement and the violation of their inalienable right to life. Therefore, the security forces should arrest and bring to book all those that are involved in the abductions without fail, and all the young people being held in illegal captivity should immediately be freed. I'm fully aware of the doctrine of collective responsibility of cabinets. But since I'm also a victim of the abductions and serving in this government, I've not gotten any answers as to why my son was abducted, held in Communicado, and nobody gave any reasons for that abduction. I have taken this unusual step so that the matter of abductions and or extrajudicial activities being committed by whomever can now be honestly and robustly debated in the country with a view to finding a lasting solution to this scourge, which, if left unchecked, has the potential to plunge the country into chaos and anarchy. We cannot live in fear in a democratic country. Let Kenyans be. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Abduct. As my statement clearly shows, Abduct, I am concerned about the issues surrounding the abductions of Kenyans from all walks of life. Which is happening, and nobody can deny that it happens in broad daylight, in full glare of even the media. So for me, it has nothing to do with, it is not political. This statement is not political. It is just to say, please, let us now discuss this issue. We must find a solution. It cannot be that people are not being responded to in an atmosphere where they are discussing the problems. We must find what the problems is and try to come up with solutions democratically, openly, without any fear of intimidation. Well, we say this statement is sufficient in what it is saying. As to what happens thereafter, I think we cross the Rubicon when we get there. Well, as I've said in a statement, the President himself has expressed the desire to see an end to the abductions. I believe he is fully cognizant of the potential that these shenanigans have to plunge the country into what I'm saying total anarchy. So I don't have to have raised it because he has already addressed the issue and says he desires to see an end. So that's why I'm saying, in addition, can we now begin a candid conversation to see where the problem is and what solutions, if any. And this cannot be from one person. We want an open discussion where people are at liberty and free to express themselves as they wish. Yeah. Yeah? I'm not aware of any forces that have been formed to abduct Kenyans, because that would be an illegality, and government cannot be the one abducting its people. It is for that reason that I think we need to discuss it openly. Yeah. All levels of the security apparatus in the country, all of them, everybody who was in the security sector knows that on that particular night, I reached out to all of them, and they all had no answers. Notwithstanding the clear clips that, thanks to Citizen Royal Media Services, I was able to get, showing the vehicle that was involved in the abduction. Secondly, the other point you raised, you see, when you attend a funeral, you attend on your own volition. Lene Kivuti, the former senator of Embu, is my neighbor at home. We've grown up together. When he's bereaved, just like I was some time back, we always come together. As to who else attends such gatherings, it's really neither here nor there. I cannot talk about other people, because I just found all the other people at the funeral. I attended in my private capacity because Lenny is my neighbor at home. We've grown up together, and it is not possible where I'm alive and able to attend to fail to go and condole with him and his family, especially at a point such as that one, losing his son. That perhaps may not be the subject of this particular debate, but I believe if what I'm calling for is allowed, he will be one of the first people to go and explain the kind of questions that was being asked by his abductors. But I don't want to preempt what he may have to say, because it's better. He's alive, he's available, and I'm sure if what I'm calling for is agreed to, he will be available to explain himself. And Kenyans will know for themselves what it is that is happening. I think at the risk of repeating myself, the president himself has expressed about his desire to see an end to abductions and any extrajudicial activities. I think that was loud and clear, and I'm sure every Kenyan welcomed that statement. If the president has spoken about it himself, his desire to see an end to abductions, is there anything else that is left to go and discuss at any other forum? 2, I have indicated in this statement that I am taking this unusual step because I feel it is, I am also a victim. I've already stated so. And I've said very clearly, when that happened to my son, I was not just a member of the cabinet, but a member of the National Security Council. Yeah? That is a security issue. It had never been discussed. Nobody as I've said, in the security apparatus, hierarchies, yeah, nobody to date has ever come forward to tell me your son was taken in by whoever. But of course I imagine, because it has been said it is not government, then we need to deal with those ones who are doing those things. So it's not possible for me to keep quiet merely because I sit in cabinet. And I've explained that I am fully conscious of the doctrine of collective responsibility of cabinet. But when you are a victim at a personal level, you also have a life, you have rights under the same constitution that brings in the doctrine of collective responsibility to speak out. I have not spoken until I felt that things are getting out of hand. And that's why I spoke about it on Friday last week, as I've stated in a statement. Yeah?
Just proposed that there should be a discussion around this abduction. Where do you think this discussion should start from?
It should start at the national level. Yeah? Cabinet needs to come up with a mechanism. It needs to come up with a mechanism. All the security sector should come up with a mechanism.
We can now say the last question. Then we go. Yeah. Don't answer another one.
So I believe if we did that, a forum where Kenyans can be able to come and express themselves. We avoid this situation of chest thumping. Let those, because many of those who have been abducted have stories to tell. Let us give them an opportunity to explain so that Kenyans will know what it is that is bedeviling the country. Which sources? I'm not aware of those sources. So perhaps when you are clear about the source, perhaps then we can have a discussion on that one. Thank you. I have not, first of all, it's wrong to say that I've attacked a section of government. I have not attacked any section of government. I am saying government as a whole needs to address this issue. That's not an attack. I am merely proposing government, please come up with a mechanism of discussing this matter with a view to finding a lasting solution so that we can then be taken for the commitments that we gave to the people of Kenya that at our watch, nothing like extrajudicial killings, extrajudicial activities will happen. Yes, that's all that I'm calling for. We live by what we preached. Yes. Thank you very much. There's a, from the lady, yes? Who is making these allegations. But the youth are part of the Kenyan society. Yeah? The youth are part of the Kenyan society. So we cannot just segregate them. No? They are part of Kenya. If they have issues they want to raise with the government, let them raise them. And let us allow them to raise them. That is all what democracy is all about. We are a democratic country. We went around the country and told people we will allow everybody to express themselves freely. And it is our cardinal duty as government to ensure that everybody lives freely and is able to say what they think, including saying that they don't like me. That's an opinion. People are at liberty to express themselves. Yeah? Thank you very much. I appreciate it.